Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So I wanted to pivot away from the midterm analysis. We've been doing a lot of midterm analysis lately to talk briefly about 2024 because as you guys know, Donald Trump is out there campaigning and there's a lot of speculation brewing over whether or not he is going to run. And a lot of news has dropped within the past couple of months that would indicate that actually, yes, Donald Trump is going to run for president in 2024, whether you like it or not. And technically, this will be a two-parter, even though the videos are not necessarily like super aligned with each other. For example, you could watch this video and not watch the next video, or you could watch the next video without watching this video and still understand it. But either way, this is going to be part one. Part two will be dropping sometime next month where I will illustrate why Donald Trump is the best option for the Republican Party moving forward, including why he's better than Ron DeSantis, because I know some people in the comments are going to be like, no, we need DeSantis, he's younger. We're going to address all of those arguments in the next video. Obviously, I like Ron DeSantis as a governor, but national politics, a little bit different, but we'll get into that next video. But I wanted to illustrate why it is very likely that Donald Trump is going to run, and I have 5 reasons that I will illustrate in this video that prove why it is the most likely course of action, why Trump 2024 is inevitable, why it is going to happen regardless, whether people want it to happen or whether they don't, whether they're on the right or the left. And we're going to start off right here. So first reason is the fact that the polls show that he can win, and this is only going to further motivate him to run. And we understand polls in the past never back up Donald Trump's narrative. They never do. Like, look at the polling aggregate in the swing states in 2016, miserably off. In 2020, they were even worse than they were in 2016. And the polls never show Donald Trump, even pre-COVID, with a lead over Joe Biden in the generic ballot, maybe 1 or 2 outlier polls. But every single poll that we see has Donald Trump with a massive lead in the popular vote by 6 percentage points. He's at 47%. He's almost cracking 50 in the popular vote. Biden's presidency is so unpopular. You have a border crisis. You have inflation. You have a failed foreign policy when the majority of Americans just want to be put first. And we understand that. And against Kamala Harris, let's say Joe Biden doesn't run. Personally, I think he will. I think he's their best option regardless. I think they're going to trot him out regardless because they're going to lose either way. And they'd rather at least have a chance. And Kamala Harris would destroy their brand. She's even more unlikable than Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton running is probably more likely as the Democrat nominee than Kamala Harris running. But it's pretty obvious that Trump would steamroll Biden, and against Harris, it would be the biggest popular vote election win for a Republican. You'd have to go back to like 1988. I think that 11-point margin is even wider than 1988. And yes, I know it's one poll, and we understand how these things work, but it's very unlikely that Donald Trump necessarily falters too much. We understand it. Usually he picks up steam towards the end and even the polling, and we see that. And Joe Biden obviously is not showing any signs of turning his presidency around. Every new week it's another disaster, whether it's gas prices or whether it's something to do with the border or something to do with foreign policy. I mean, they said infrastructure would save him. They said Ukraine would save him. It hasn't happened. His approval rating is in the toilet. And as a result, Donald Trump is winning the polls. And this is only going to further motivate him to run because he knows that it's a sure thing regardless. We understand this. We know by now Republicans, yes, they can win elections. Look at Virginia. Look at what almost happened in New Jersey. I mean, look at what's happening in 2022 all around the country. We understand this. It's not going to be close enough for anything to really make a difference, regardless of what the media wants to do, because nobody buys their narrative anymore. And we understand that. We understand that back in 2020, there were stories about Joe Biden that were shafted by the New York Times while they promoted false stories about Donald Trump. Well, those stories now are confirmed. The laptop, the diary, it's all confirmed by the New York Times and authenticated. They say authenticated or confirmed. No, they just like admitted that it was real. But either way, it's pretty obvious that Donald Trump is going to run and he is the favorite. So that also brings us to reason number 2, the war chest. Donald Trump, even according to CNN, his team has announced a $122 million war chest. And this is only growing from here. He's building up a massive fundraising advantage. And I know that he did this before 2020 as well, but he had a problem because there was a certain individual by the name of Brad Parscale who like dumped all the money into the middle of nowhere in like New Mexico and Oregon, and probably on his own personal needs for like cocaine and for altercations, legal altercations that he got in with his wife. It was a train wreck, but this time around, it's probable that he's not going to make that same mistake again. There's not going to be a Brad Parscale that's going to waste that money. Hopefully he has a good campaign manager. Hey, I'm available, Trump, if you need me. We'll get this thing done. You'd win probably 35 to 40 states if I was the campaign manager, but I don't know. It's just an open invitation, Trump. If you want me, I'll do it. I'm here for it. I'm up for it. But that's beside the point. Either way, that Donald Trump is raising a lot of money. He has all the resources in the world this time around, and he wouldn't be doing this if he didn't plan on running. He hasn't given a lot of that money to candidates in 2022. I don't really think that he needs to, but he hasn't given that money to a lot of candidates to the point where I'm just sitting here and I'm saying, hey, it's more likely than not that Donald Trump is planning to run for president again in 2024. And every single indication that we're seeing, including the war chest, backs that claim up. So reason number 3. Vengeance. Donald Trump loves revenge. He sees what happened with big tech. He sees what happened with the media. He sees what's going on in this country, and he is angry. This is one of the most notable aspects of Trump's personality. He is always out for revenge. If you remember back in 2011 or whenever the White House Correspondents' Dinner was, when Obama decided to call out Trump in that speech, and you looked at him on his face, and he was not too happy, and he said, you know what? I'm gonna take your job away from you. And while he didn't run in 2012, he basically did it in 2016, and he beat the media, and he became president against all odds. And he's gonna do that again to the same people that have shafted him, not just in the Democrat Party, not just in the establishment with the media, but also the GOP establishment. He's going out there and endorsing a lot of candidates that are primary challenging a lot of these more establishment representatives and senators who backstabbed him. And I agree, his endorsement game is not perfect. It's probably one of his biggest flaws. But at the same time, he is doing the things necessary to improve Congress so that next time around, he does not have the same backstabbing problem as he had before, regardless if his endorsement game is perfect or not. But he's all about revenge. He wants revenge. He wants to take the White House back. He views the White House, he says, I should be there now. And now he wants to go out there and he wants to take it back, as he should. But either way, beyond that point, you also have to look at the way that he punishes people that wrong him in the past, like he did with Jeff Sessions, endorsing Tuberville over Sessions because Sessions wasn't the best AG and he caved into a lot of the Russia narrative. And by the way, I think it was the wrong endorsement. Same thing with a lot of the unnecessary attacks that he throws at people like Chip Roy, because Chip Roy is probably one of the more conservative representatives that we have, but he said like one bad thing, and you kind of see the same thing with Mo Brooks. But either way, it shows that he cares about revenge, and he will do nothing to take back the White House in 2024. And that starts right now with a lot of these campaign rallies, you could call them, that he's doing. So that's really it for reason number 3. Reason number 4, the incoming mandate. The midterms are shaping up to be a massive red wave. A lot of the election mafia polls even indicate this. I believe it was NBC News that actually showed Republicans with their first lead in the generic ballot in years. And we're seeing this right now. Republicans with a 3.4% advantage in RCP. I'm sure it's a lot higher than that. Like all the accurate pollsters like Barris and Trafalgar, like they have it at double digits. Like it is going to be massive. It is going to rival 2018, but reverse. Republicans are going to pick up 40 seats in the House. They're probably going to have 54 seats in the Senate. And Trump is out there campaigning for all of these candidates. He's supporting all of the candidates that have won so far. He did support Youngkin. Youngkin, you could argue, won because of Trump, because he got that increased turnout in a lot of those rural areas, and they tried to tie him to Trump and it failed. So you're looking at this right now, and you're seeing the generic ballot showing Republicans with a massive advantage. And even then, a lot of those polls that are undershooting them are outliers with a lot of undecideds. And a lot of those undecideds within those polls disapprove of Joe Biden by a massive margin. It's pretty obvious to see what is shaping up and what is happening right now. So you're looking at this and you're seeing, hey, wait a minute, this looks like good news for Republicans. That means Trump is going to be even more emboldened to run, because he can say, hey, look what our movement did. I'm out here campaigning, and as a result, our candidates are winning. So beyond that point, reason number 5, what he's saying at his rallies. He's basically admitted it. And you could listen to several clips of him right now. So take a listen.
But they're going to find out the hard way starting on November 8th, and then again even more so on November 2024. They will find out like never before.
There's more popularity now than there was the day before the election because they see how bad things are at the border. They see what's going on. They see that their guns are going to be gone, their Second Amendment. I say this. I am looking at it very seriously, beyond seriously. From a legal standpoint, I don't want to really talk about it yet. It's a little too soon.
So as you can see, he's basically admitting that he's going to run. Do you think that he's possibly just teasing a run and that he's not going to do it? I mean, that doesn't seem like something Trump would do. Obviously, he did tease a run in 2012 and he never actually went through with it. But this time he's more determined. He already has experience. And who else is going to run if not Trump? I mean, we're going to discuss that in the next video, obviously, that I do regarding 2024, regarding this subject, but it's pretty obvious that this is Trump's for the taking. Polls consistently have him ahead in the nomination, and people are going to say, well, he's only at like 60% in the nomination polls, but like a lot of nomination polls ahead of 2020 only had him in the 60s or 70s while he was the incumbent president, and he won like 94% of the primary vote or something like that when the primaries actually took place. So I wouldn't really take that with anything more than a grain of salt, but the people want him to run. He's very receptive to the base. The base sees him as the best option still, and it's pretty obvious that he is going to run. So that's the 5 reasons why Donald Trump is going to run for president again in 2024. He's still high energy. Maybe it's not what it was in 2016, but compared to everybody else in politics, he's high energy. The MAGA hat stays on. The MAGA hat doesn't come off. It never came off metaphorically. And in this video, it didn't come off literally. And we're going to see what happens ahead of 2024. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.